Hey viewers, George here to do an impressional talking about a game that had came out. One that I was actually really interested when they had announced it last year, I saw a trailer for it last year, or I heard the announcement and I was like, oh my god, it has a character from Mad World! And Sega's making it, so it's a two-way win for me. And so it came out, and I went to go grab it, and I went and played it, and I wasn't... It's interesting and it has a lot of really cool things about it, but in terms of did it live up to my slight anticipation that I had for it, not entirely. I think I had like something completely different in mind, and I'll definitely talk about one of my problems with it. But so Anarchy Reigns. I don't know if I already said the title, but Anarchy Reigns. Basically, what this game is you play as these various characters, and they all have their differences and whatnot, and it's just a straight up like brawler where you go around, you punch the shit out of everyone. You get like these matches that can go up to like 16 people, 2 teams, or everyone for themselves, all those kind of things. And you get online. There's a bit of a story that you can play through, so you can get a bit more bearing the controls and learn how to do everything in the game. It's really interesting in that respect. So where this game falls for me, one of my biggest problems, at least so far, I haven't played too much of it. I usually try and play as much as I can before I do these things, but it seems to be a recurring theme for a lot of the stuff. One of my biggest problems is the maps end up being really, really huge. And the reason why that isn't all that great, and sometimes the game tries to fix it, is the reason why that's not great is that when you're playing like against 16 people, it all gets really spread out. And when I heard this game, Anarchy Reigns, I was like, oh my god, it's gonna be like this closed-in 3D brawler, everyone's gonna be freaking smashing one another in the face. It's gonna just be like complete and total chaos. It's to a degree, it does get completely and total chaos, because in the larger maps especially, there'll be like these events that like draw all the players to a certain point in the map. But then, a lot of times everyone's spread out, and even sometimes you might have a hard time finding like that many people to play. But that's just one of my small little nitpicky problems I have, is it ends up spreading everyone out. So there might be some points where you just get dropped in this area and trying to fucking find it where the hell everyone is. And sometimes it's easier than other times, but I mean, like, sometimes it'll like go this way and go that way. It's like, oh man, I just want to fight people and whatnot. Another problem I have with this game, and it could very well just be myself, or it just could be a general thing. If you're new to this game, you have such a big disadvantage. It's not even funny. Like, you're sort of required to go through maybe all the tutorials, or at least go through the story, so you at least have an idea of how, like, majority of the characters work. Because, like I said, each character plays slightly different, and how each of their attacks work, and how you can best use them, what's best suited for what they're doing. So when you go to play online, you might just get really screwed over, because when I went like just played a little bit of the story, just so I can get like a bearing of like the basic controls, so then I can just sort of jump into multiplayer and like go crazy. Not the best idea. I sucked very bad, and it could just be me. But also it's just if you play the game more, you definitely have a bigger advantage. And I what you're saying. It's like, it sort of goes with every other game, but I mean, it definitely focuses. It's definitely more applied to this. Is the more you play, the better you can be at it, and the more you'll eventually home on to like a certain character. Much like any other fighting game you would play, the more you play that fighting game, the better you become at it. It's not like you just can easily pick up Street Fighter and you're automatically, God of Street Fighter, or, King of Tekken. or just fantastic at Marvel vs. Capcom. You need to play this game a little bit before you can get good, and then that's when it comes to playing online and you're facing like 15 or 16 other people. You sort of get chucked into the deep end of the pool at that point, especially I was surprised. I got this game maybe like a day or two, about maybe 3 days after it had come out, and even then I would everyone was pretty high in the levels, much like when the PlayStation All-Star came out. You'll be facing people who've played the game a lot longer than you, and you definitely feel that unfairity. So I highly recommend you have to sort of play the tutorials and the stories before you can just jump it right into the multiplayer. And I think that's a big problem, since this game glorifies the multiplayer as being the main feature. Another thing I must mention is within the multiplayer, you don't have to just play against 16 people or the huge team death matches. They also have cage matches, or like the 4-way brawlers, like some smaller ones that are a little more suited, and they actually like force you in a smaller, like there's a cage match and it's like 1-on-1, and you're actually in a cage. No items come out. There's no events. It's just 1-on-1, motto to motto. And those matches are actually really cool, because you sort of, it feels more traditional, I guess. But the bigger matches will definitely, like, catch you completely off guard if you're not prepared for it, which in most cases you wouldn't be. Anything else I should mention about this game? Not really. Other than the fact that, the multiplayer is pretty strong, and it is very different and very interesting. It does leave you a slight disadvantage when you just first go into it. So don't expect to be able to just pick this game up and play it. It's definitely not one of those kind of games. You really need to learn how the controls work, what's best suited for each character, like I said. And even playing some of the story, actually, really cool thing about this game, and it sort of connects to what I was just about to say. There are characters you can unlock, and you can unlock them 2 different ways: by either getting better in the multiplayer, or by completing certain parts of the story, which I really like. That means you don't have to play either or. You can just play the story and you get all the characters. You can just, force your way through the multiplayer and you can get all the characters. So I must say I really like that. It's a well-played card where it doesn't force people to play something that they're like, I don't really want to try and do this. Your options are open, which is really cool. And I was just about to say that, there's a lot of characters there. The roster's really cool. A bunch of original characters other than Jack, who we all know from Mad World, which is also a really cool game. Unless there's other characters in this game that are from other games that I have no idea what they are. Yeah. So, Anarchy Reigns, really cool game. I do recommend picking this up. This game's actually only about $39.99, which is pretty cheap for a new game. And it's a very interesting fighter. If you think you need a new change-up, if you think your Tekken and your Street Fighter are getting a little bit stale, or you want something new, try this, because it is fun, but you have to actually be committed to playing this. Much like any other fighter, I guess I should keep hammering that in. Much like any fighter, the rules still apply. You gotta commit to it. You gotta be practicing and being good at it before you can find yourself actually progressing in it, especially online. So yeah, try this game.